everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the Baked Book. So today I'm going to be talking about my worst books I read in 2017. So I have it divided up in sections. So I have fiction, non-fiction, poetry, and graphic novels. Alright, let's start off with fiction. So these are in like no particular order. I didn't like any of them. Let's start with We Were Liars. So I read this book and it was like super emo the whole time, and there was like these weird segments of like poetry, and it was really waspy, and I like didn't care about the characters at all, and they all acted really weird. And then at the end, I'm just gonna spoil it because this is my worst books, and that's just how much, you know, respect I have about it. They're all dead. So it follows this girl going to this island to hang out with dead ghosts, and like you just are led to believe that they're actual people, and then how they die is so stupid. I had a house on fire because they're mad, and then they trap themselves in the house. It's just like, God, if you're gonna be an arsonist, at least like think it through enough so you don't light down the bottom floor while there's still people on the upper floor, like, and in the basement. Like, I couldn't. It was like so sloppy to me. It ends with Us by Colleen Hoover. I've heard a lot of different things about Colleen Hoover, and this book was really, is really easy to read, and it was very compelling, but there was just like a lot of really cringeworthy parts in it, about an abusive relationship where you just like, you're reading it and you're like, it's like the first few pages, and like she's just watching this guy on a balcony, and he gets mad and starts punching a chair, and you're like, oh, what, is she gonna fuck that dude? Yeah, is she gonna fall in love with him now? Okay, yeah, all right, got the book. I didn't need to read it, and so it talks about like the cycles of abuse, and it just like romanticizes it a lot, which is really kind of frustrating and annoying, which is something I've heard a lot of people complain about Colleen Hoover for. And reading this book, I was like, absolutely, it's like totally glamorized. There's like an abusive doctor and like this huge house, and it's just like, ugh, it's just so cringy and shitty to watch. And she just kind of like strings along a guy who really loves her, and it's terrible. I think they get married on a whim too, and it's just like, don't do that. He's gonna hit you. He's gonna hit you. Then I read Neverwinter for a book club, and I did not like this at all. I tried to, but it was just like the language was really hard, and there's a lot of really annoying footnotes. I even tried, I don't know why, I like started reading the Harry Potter books, and I was like, maybe I'll read the next one, God's Grave, and I DNF'd it. It was just like so bad, and I don't want it to be. I think there's potential here. I just like thought the writing style was garbage. Like the world building was okay, but it just kind of lifted a lot of concepts and ideas from other fantasy literature. Like there was nothing in here that I was like, oh, this is so original. And I'm not even like a fantasy reader. I'm just, you know, this might have been like one of the first like adult fantasy novels. Is this even adult, young adult fantasy? I don't know. Does Harry Potter count? I just read that last year. Like, let's be real, I'm not that seasoned. Anyway, I did not like that at all. Speaking of fantasy, I read this middle grade fantasy in the Wrinkle in Time series, A Swiftly Tilting Planet. What the fuck was this? I was pissed because I really liked the second one in the series. I almost liked it more, but this was like in a different world, and Charles Wallace, his job was to become invisible in somebody else's body, and it's just like, well, like this is completely taking away everything that I liked about A Wrinkle in Time and all the characters I like from A Wrinkle in Time, and it just took it away and put it in a novel with these people that I don't care about, and it's just like a very loose kind of thing, like, oh, the universe is gonna destroy, but we have to save it with some little microcosm and all these people that I can't keep their names straight, and can't keep their characters straight either, because I do not care at all. We Free Men by Terry Pratchett, like, I can't even really say that much about it because it was just all over the place, and I don't know what happened. Like, I'm sure, like, the story was cute, it seemed kind of cute, but I tried to listen to it on audio, and I tried to read it, and I had no idea what was happening. I was just like, the whole time. Final Girls. That was not a thriller. I don't know what that was. It was kind of like a Lifetime drama maybe, but it was not a thriller. It was like, it just wasn't. It was pretty boring. I was just kind of like waiting for the action. It was more of like a New York contemporary that Book of the Month always likes to do. Like white rich writers living in New York City. That's like their favorite trope, and it was literally, I don't remember if this character was like a writer or an artist or anything, but like it was just, no. 2 books I read by A.S. King. I crawled through it in History of the Future. I don't remember which one I read first, and I don't know why I continued to like read the author afterwards, because I was like, this book is trash. But like, it's kind of like that Nevernight thing. I was like, this book is trash. I'm gonna read another one and see what it's like. And like, I was just so confused. There's lots of like jumps in the writing. It didn't seem personable. It seemed like, so I have a shelf on Goodreads that's called Try Too Hard to Be Quirky, and that was totally these books to a T. They just tried really hard to be quirky, young adult, relatable novels, and it just was not working for me. All right, let's go to nonfiction. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I tried to like this, but it really bothered me. There was like one scene in there. Yeah, I was, you know, blogging, traveling the world, banging broads, and then I was like, I need to start a 401k. I'm gonna be published. Like, this book was really just like, kind of like what you can do with connections and like try to market something. Because I was really not impressed with it. And there was like a chapter in there where they talked about how sometimes women that are sexually assaulted lie about it, and I was like, all right, I see like the point you're trying to make about, you know, sometimes people aren't honest and blah blah blah, but like, do not use that example. Like, there's already so many like underreported, underconvicted sexual assault and rape victims, so why are you talking about a rape victim and people not believing them? Like, you were just being such a fucking bro right now. Like, just, can you just try for 1 second to not just be such a toxic bro? Like, it's not that hard. Like, I just can't imagine like the editing process of like somebody reading that and being like, oh yes, is this for 20 to 30-year-old men? Yeah, okay, yeah, just put that in there. It's totally relatable. The ladies, they lie about getting raped, and like, it just did not sit well with me at all. So yeah, I think I initially gave it like 3 stars, and then I like downgraded it to 2 or 1. The more I thought about that, I was like, that was just not cool. That was not okay. It was very bad. Graphic novels. Not Away. It was like very forgettable. It was really confusing and sci-fi and just boring. It took like a really long time to get through. And then the more disappointing one, Flight Club 2. That book did not, like, what was that? Like, at the end, Chuck Palahniuk comes, the author comes, and it's like, I was just so confused, and I was just not interested, and I was not happy about it at all. And it was just kind of like a trash novel. It just seemed like Chuck Palahniuk got a lot of fan mail, like, write another book, and he was like, okay, fine. And he did, and he just didn't give a fuck about it. And then poetry, There Are More Beautiful Things in Beyonce. I don't know, this poetry collection just really tried too hard, and it was just like super name droppy. Like, if you need to talk about Beyonce in the beginning, and then like left a bad taste in my mouth. Those were my worst books of 2017. Feel free to leave a comment or subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!